Hello people, this is Ryder here to review the Ultraman Blazar DX Blazar Stone 03 Rainbow Corin set. So this was the sole August release for Blazar, to which is our third Blazar Stone set. To which I don't know why I forgot to actually look up the names. But this is our first primary set that actually has kaiju stones that isn't an EX set. So I'm just gonna go off of what I remembered. So our second Blazar, or our first primary Blazar stone here, the advertised one is Niji Kaigachi. Whenever I open this, I'll get it correct. And then we have the stones for X, Orb Origin, and Juggler's Juggler, as they're present right here. And obviously here's Blazar right here. And obviously, because it's called the Rainbow Corin set, we do have a beautiful rainbow and such. Again, here's the lineup of the characters right there. Tells us using the Blazar brace. And just shows us everything that they would do in the Blazar brace. Alright, so here we have the stones out of their packaging. So we'll look at them one by one as we always have. So here's our first main in-show, or our second in-show stone, but of the kaiju Niji Kaigachi, I think is what it's called. I really do like this one overall. I find the choice of it being blue being weird, because I think the only blue this kaiju has is its eyes. But other than that, this one's really cool overall. Again, the Blazar kaijus are really neat. And this one's B002. So this one falls after the Blazar stone. And then for our new generation stones of the set, we have X right here, to which obviously I adore. And it's just really neat to see a brightly green stone, because I think they've mostly avoided using green this time around, which is really interesting. But he is B102. And obviously X is my favorite of the new generation. And here is Orb Origin, or I think the stone is technically, its official name is the Orb Stone Orb Origin. So it's really interesting they chose black for him, because he's typically represented by white, but this is like clearly like a black cover and such. And he is B105. And for a rarity, which is this going to be the only time, we actually have two kaijus within the set. Because here's Juggler's Juggler. He's not a kaiju, he's a kaijin, but you know. This one actually does have some merit. And this is the only stone I feel like that actually works with this cover. This is not orange, by the way. I compared with Grigio from the last video. And here's Victory, just to showcase this is not orange at all. And again, this one's actually pretty cool. And is B155. I just really like how they actually made these kind of somewhat very close such. So let's use these in the Blazar brace. So obviously Niji Kaigachi will be the first one, to which starts off as normal until we press the button. So while this might seem generic, it's not. I really do like how the rainbow starts building up and such, and technically emulates an explosion. As obviously, as we were going to go through, Niji Kaigachi allows Blazar to utilize its powers to transform its abilities into the Rainbow Corin. And this one, I think we have 5 sounds. So the first sound is just Gento calling out for Blazar and Scar to lend him his power. Lend them their power to... They call out for the attacks. I never realized that. I did not know it actually did the animation again. That's really rare for this toy to do. And then there's the monster cry for Niji Kagachi. And I think that's actually the last sound. So I think it's just 4 sounds. Yeah. There it goes. Now for our new generation stones. So obviously we have Daichi calling out for X and the X Divisor standby. There we have the transformation for Ultraman X. Again, it just would have been complete with X's call, but I get it. This is the closest we've gotten with it. And obviously I do want to correct with the standby, because obviously it's not exactly the standby from that device. It's at least a portion from like a sound. It's just a sound bit from that series looped. If it's possible. There's X's grunt. Zodium Coulson obviously carried over from the Hyper Key. Same with Daichi. Orb Origin. So, like, obviously here, this is actually the standby for the, or not the standby. This is the, like, activation of the orb ring looped. This one I actually really do appreciate. They replicate the orb caliber sequence for the most part and such. And obviously, I should have stated this. Obviously, this doesn't. The phrase for Guy here is obviously his like after transformation phrase, and not him shouting out orb as how it was in Origin Saga and such. So I think that's actually a new grunt that he actually made his main one. And I think that's the Origin Coulson, as opposed to the Orbspirion Cow. I forgot. the big final attack. And obviously, again, because it was the phrase in the standby. Last but not least, Juggler's Juggler. So Juggler, his main animation is just the traditional kaiju one. However, he actually does have 2 sounds after I replace the battery. So obviously we have our standard one, which is not Justice, but is the traditional laugh. And again, this will typically be the first sound. But if we know from what the kaiju stones we have covered, typically the second sound would be followed up with Gento saying this is the power of the kaiju. However, with Juggler, they actually gave him his finisher, which is cool. So, for the third set, to actually include in show things, I think it's pretty neat overall. Obviously, the Niji Kagachi Stone, like it might I could kind of get this one not being as appealing. Like I really like the stone overall. Like the sounds are like I think it does what it needs to do. I like how it's basically on par with the Blazar Stone that came with the brace itself, because they both have 4 sounds and such. Obviously, it just doesn't have as much um like no. I really like just how it's still a kaiju, like it still carries resemblance of a kaiju stone because it still has the kaiju cry, but it just has more. Well, it technically just has like 2 more Gento sounds, and again a recycle of like when you initially press it. So like I guess a Blazar sound would have been neat, a Blazar grunt at least, but oh well. And the new generation stone selection is pretty cool. Because, like, even though, yes, X is the oddity of this set, but honestly, I think it's actually, again, it's pretty smart that they chose who they did for this set. Like, obviously, it makes sense if you're going to release Orb, release Juggler too. And like I said before, I commend this set for being the only set to actually, out of the main Blazar Stone sets, to actually contain more than one kaiju stone. Like excluding the EX sets is what I mean. But because I just realized this, X and Orb in a way do have correlations to the rainbow, because obviously X with Exceed X, obviously Orb with Orb of Origin with the, or their ultras actually do like have resemblance of like colors. No, they don't. But like, I'm just trying to make a really bad correlation, but I hope you actually somewhat get it. But yeah, I think, because I forgot to say this for set 2, just like set 1, I think this is inexpensive to track down. So like you should be able to find this in places like Mandarake and such for like as low as $10. That's how much I would say you should get these for. I don't think. Oh, I should probably say this. I got this off of HLJ. The rest of these Blazar Stone sets I got off of HLJ. I got 1 and 2 off of Hobby Search alongside the Blazar Brace. Those were the only 3 Blazar stings I got from Hobby Search. The majority of the retail stuff I got from HLJ, but I will keep saying that. So I got HLJ was selling this for like $9 or so when they did have it up. They might have it up, but it might be under the umbrella of like 3 to 5 days. But I don't know. They're starting to wipe out their Blazar products somehow. So I'll suggest for you, if you actually are collecting the Blazar stones, and get this. However, if you're only solely looking out for the Niji Kagachi stone, probably just hold out for the Memorial Edition, or just get that one to get it over with if you don't want to deal with these 3 other pesky Blazar stones. But other than that, that'll have to do this review. This is Ryder, and I'll leave people.